Welcome back to Mountain Connections. I'm here with life skills coach Amanda Winters. She is a local who helps businesses and corporations focus on emotional health to use it in a healthy, positive way. She also focuses on addiction recovery and prevention. And today we're going to be talking about how to help teens who may find themselves struggling. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Well, we are happy to have you, and let's just get started right away. You focus a lot of your time on helping teens and also with addiction recovery. What can we do? How can we help? That's such a vulnerable time. We all remember being a teenager. We're raising teenagers. There's a lot going on, and it's hard to know what to do and what not to do, really.
So really, when I get into the emotional side and what to do, I like to use the acronym FARMS just to help me remember. So the first thing is just to focus on building a relationship. One thing that we think of is we think sobriety is the opposite of addiction, where actually connection is the opposite of addiction. So really being able to deepen our connection with our teenagers, whether we're a parent, whether we're a teacher, or some way to influence a teenager, we really need to deepen those connections, because that's where they will stay away from addictive behaviors.
That's so true, but it also can be really hard with teenagers. Sometimes they don't want to connect.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's where really we need to ask a lot of good questions. I know for myself, being a mom of a teenager, that's really where I try to focus, is asking good questions. Really practicing asking a lot of questions, because they don't want to open up a lot of times. One thing that I also learned is that being able to have that physical touch and hug and love on them really breaks down those barriers, to be able to have them open up. The more that I ask them questions, so when they come home, I'll ask them, how was your day? What was good about it? What was bad about it? What maybe was challenging about it? And really being able to sit down and ask questions. I find myself that I have to put my phone down, because that's where we get stuck. And that's really where the A is that we want to be aware of what is going on in their life. That we want to look at their social media. We want to see what's going on in their texts and stuff, and that's where you'll get a lot of pushback, because they want their lives to be private. They want to be adults. But really being able to know where they are so we can help them best and be very aware of what's going on is where it's going to help the most.
So we want to focus, we want to be aware, and then what else? You have an R and an M, right?
I do. So the R is for resist judgment. And I think that's, as I know as a parent myself, that is probably the hardest thing, is as your teenager or a teenager is talking to you, you really want to resist judgment, because we want to jump to conclusions and tell them what they should be doing, right? Mm-hmm. And so really being able to resist judgment, and once again, ask lots of good questions. How did that affect you? How did that make you feel? Why did that make you feel that way? Is there something that I can do to help? And really being open and communicate with them on a deep level.
Which can be very hard. It can be hard to just be in that moment, to not assume something, to not judge what they're saying, to not take all these other things that might be in your head and just, put that aside and just focus on the individual. That can be really hard. And you want to be a mentor, right?
Absolutely. So the M is for mentoring. So what does that look like, A lot of times we think, mentoring is this huge thing, professional thing. But really listening to what they are saying is a huge part of it. Being able to focus on what they're saying and not just kind of say, I think they're going to say that. I think they're going to do that. Sometimes we want to repeat back what they say. That way we can partnership together in figuring out solutions. Really, what is best is being able to ask enough questions to help them discover the answer to their struggles and their challenges, because that's the voice that we believe the most, right, is our own. And so being able to help them discover through questions really helps them to meet their own challenges and prepare for life. So as you help them prepare, as you help deepen that connection with them, they will stay away from addictive behaviors more and more.
Well, I like that. It's easy, farm. It's easy to remember, and these are really great tips. You focus a lot of your time as a life skills coach on addiction prevention and recovery. What has made that become a focus of yours?
So, because I had an experience when I was a teenager of seeing my brother in jail because of addictive behaviors, being able to really use that and how it affected me and my family, and still does to this day. He still struggles with that. It's very heartbreaking for me to be able to see him go through that in life.
It's got to be so hard, and it's just not a straightforward thing, and there isn't an easy solution, and there isn't one way to prevent it, or one thing. It's a very complicated thing, and so many times it can also have the mental health, the mental illness component to it. What did you learn from that experience? You're still going through it, but what is maybe a takeaway that you can share about that?
Really just love people where they're at, to realize that we all have struggles. None of us are perfect. One thing about my brother is because he started using drugs so young, it did cause bipolar. That's what the doctor said was the cause of his bipolar, because it changed his brain chemistry, because his brain was still developing. So we do have that mental health factor in there, which makes it hard because you never know if he's going to be on a high or a low, if he's going to be manic, if he's going to be raging. And so being able to love him through all of that, and sometimes that can be very, very hard.
So because you have this personal connection and you know what people are experiencing, you're able to offer your clients kind of just a shoulder to cry on, some perspective.
Yes. Just really being able to, once again, ask my clients questions to help them discover really what is the solution to their challenges. Being able to love them and help them to see how to love, to realize that it's not personal when you're dealing with an addict, that it's not personal what they're doing. It's not a personal attack on you. And I think that's really key in understanding that it's not you. It's not you at all. And it's not that they don't love you. It's just that they have this addiction, and it does change brain chemistry.
Absolutely. So you focus on addiction issues. You also help businesses and corporations, help train them to use emotions in a good way. What else do you do as a life skills coach?
Really helping families a lot of times in sports. So that's where another avenue that I really love, because my kids have been involved in sports for so many years, that kids in sports really do deal with a lot of emotion. Am I good enough? Am I going to be a starter? Am I not going to be a starter? Where is my role in this team? What can I contribute? And so there's a lot of emotions that go into that. So really training families also on how to be the best that we can be and really reaching our full potential.
How can we get more information about you and what you offer, and just more background about what you do?
So my company is the Emotional Wellness Institute, or if you look me up online, it's theewi.com.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Amanda, for being here and being so open about your struggles and everything that you do. I'm sure you help a lot of people, and we're happy to have you here and talk to you about FARM: Focus, Be Aware, Resist, and Mentor. Those are definitely good things to remember, I think, regardless of who you're talking to really in your life, not just teens.
Right. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. All right, Amanda Winters, she is a life skills coach. You want to check her out online, and remember that acronym FARM. It's good not to judge, and also to check your emotional health. If you want more information, check it out. We'll be right back after this quick break.